welcome back to the channel, guys. We are going back to the way we used to do videos for this video. If you've been a part of the channel any length of time, you remember I used to just stick the camera in the car, take off on the road, and make you guys a video talking about different things. So I figured since we're going to be talking about this car, why sit on the outside and walk around the car when we could be in the car driving it around, enjoying a beautiful Sunday sunny day. All right, but before we get going, guys, I'm going to stop and we're going to do a little pull. Now, this is not nothing extravagant. This is a stock 3-valve, but it's what we're talking about today. So we're going to see how it does. Guys, it's nothing to write home about, but it's a manual, so it is still fun to drive. You know, I walked out of right at, I would say probably, getting close to 800 horsepower on the E85 with the Whipple on the green car, into this probably 260-something horsepower to wheel. So it's not impressive to me, but at the same time, we are back in a manual, and let me tell you, I have been missing being in a manual. Now, I know this channel might seem like it's an auto channel, I've had so many automatics, but believe me when I tell you, back in the day, that if it was not a manual Mustang, I would not even consider it for me. That I was a diehard manual guy. So what changed all that? Well, let's just talk about that. I have bought an 18 GT after owning a 17 GT NT82 car, and about 2,500 miles into ownership, the 3/4 shift fork broke, and as when the 18s first come out, and I was looking at 3 months before I could get either a shift fork or a new transmission. Keep in mind, guys, this was early spring when this happened, and there was no way that I was going with most of the drag season in good weather without something to drive and have fun with. So the only thing the dealership had was a 17 California Special, extremely low miles, and that's where the channel started, is with that car. After that car, we did end up in a 12 GT500. Get rid of that car? I don't know.
'Cause you're dumb.
So what are we going to do with this car? Since I've had the car, been driving it, I've kind of been enjoying it and kind of been thinking about different things we can do. I've had people ask me, are you going to keep the 3-valve in it, build it, or we would love to see that. And then I've had the people say coyote swap it, go from there. So there's a lot of things on the table. I can tell you I am leaning more toward coyote swapping it. The reason being is this car come out with 300 horsepower from the factory, and coyote, say Gen 2 for example, 435, so over 100 horsepower more just by doing an engine swap. And we all know when you put boost on a coyote how it responds. Now, can you build a 3-valve and put a turbo on it and be fast? Yes, plenty have done it. It can be done. The coyote is a lot easier and a lot more parts out there for it. So right now, I'm leaning toward the coyote swap. So now the next question is, are we going to leave it manual, or are we going to put a 6R80 in it or a TH400 in it? And as of right now, I am really looking to keep it manual. So guys, that's kind of what I'm looking at with this car. Coyote swap. The question is do I immediately go boost, or do I coyote swap it, leave it naturally aspirated with the manual and have fun with it, then throw boost on it, kind of take the car in stages? And that all depends on how well the shop does, is what I do. As you guys know, I did leave the dealership. I am running a shop now full time. We have been 10 months in, and we are going strong. It is looking like I'm kind of getting that spot to where could it slow down a little bit due to the current economic climate. Right now, it's kind of one of those things that's kind of seeing if people are going to pull back. I'm not sure. I'm getting calls, but I've got to get those commitments and get the cars in. So depending on how the shop does and how fast this progresses. But what I'm looking at doing is putting a Coyote in it and going with either a turbo or a supercharger. I'm still weighing all of my options. So guys, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think I should do with the car, what you guys would like to see done with the car, and then we'll go from there. But one thing we are going to do, we're all going to start looking at the suspension, because no matter what engine I have in this car, I'm going to have suspension in the car. And so that's one of the first things we're going to do, is we're going to get some good suspension on the car, get that part of the car starting where we want to go with it, and then go from there. All that being said, guys, we're going to progress the car in stages. It's not something that's going to happen overnight as of right now. But we're going to get the car, some suspension on the car, get the car a little lower. It's way too tall, and I need to work on suspension anyway for the car as it sets. We've got 355 gears in the car right now. Depending on what options I'm going to go with, depending on what I keep back there. There is a possibility if I decide to come out and actually aspirate it first, I'll go ahead and we'll gear it down, maybe some 410s, something like that. Gear it down and get it rocking on that setup. Leave a comment for us, let us know what you think, and let me know if you guys like this type of video. I walked away from it for a while, and when I would do one, I got a lot of people say too much talking, not enough this. So I kind of strayed away from it, but I figured in today's video, it's a lot of talking, a lot to talk about, and see what you guys think. Anyway, guys, that's enough talking. I'm gonna get out of here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you next time.